Welcome back. Peace and blessings one and all. Thank you so much for joining us for another video. Now we will be taking a preview of the second test between Pakistan and West Indies at Multan. Now, as you would have known, the West Indies would have been beaten inside 3 days by Pakistan in the first test. And to be honest with you, the West Indies, I think where the West Indies would have gone wrong in that first test would have been that partnership that we allow Shahid Shakil and Rizwan to make. They would have made 141 run partnership, which I think would have taken the game away from us. In that first test, I would have mentioned in my reflection of the first day that we cannot allow Pakistan to make 220, anywhere between 220 to 250. We had to restrict them for a lower total than that, because we would have seen how the pitch would have been playing from ball one. It was a spinning wicket, right? And we allow them to make in excess of, in my estimation, 42 to about 60 runs too much, right? And that would have cost us the game, because if you notice, even in the second innings, even though West Indies had issues batting on that pitch, Pakistan had the same issues, right? And we would have restricted them in the second innings for 157, right? And that shows you that they had issues batting on the pitch as well. So if we had not allowed them, right, and this is mainly because our spinners, they weren't hitting those good lengths, right? As I always say, that good length is between the 4 to 6 meter mark, right? We need to be hitting those lengths consistently, right, in order to be able to build pressure in this test match. And looking back on the first test, I would want to commend Gameyaaad TV for that 7 wicket for 32 that he would have taken. In fact, it is his best figures in test cricket so far. His first 5 wicket haul, right? And that would have been the third best bowling figures by a visitor in Pakistan. So all was not really bad for West Indies in that first test, right? And it could have been 8, as I said before in my previous video, had Craig Brathwaite would have taken a review. He would have taken 8 for 31. So in terms of our batting, right, we were not one. I would have told you we have some fundamental issues, but separate and apart from that, right, they are there and they need to perform, right? We know that some of the batters do not have the skill set necessary to play or to play consistently at this level, right? As I would have said in a previous video, I think some of these batters, they should be still playing regional cricket, but because we do not have the pool of players, right, they have to be elevated to this level, right? So with that said, they are there and they need to perform, right? I think most of our batters, they do not have any clue to spin bowling, to be honest with you. Their foot movements is just poor, and our shot selection poor, not thinking we are reading the ball, from the hand of the bowlers. We are not thinking what the bowlers may bowl the next delivery, right? We are not picking up lengths consistently, right? And the second innings that Alec Afternoon's play, that 55 runs, it showed you that we can play, we can get runs on the wicket if we apply ourselves properly. We would have seen in the first innings, Shahid Shakil made 84, Rizwan would have gotten 71, and Captain Shan Masood would have gotten 52 in the second inning. So runs can be scored even though it is a spinning wicket if we apply ourselves correctly, right? As it relates to West Indies, there are certain things, that are very critical to this final test in Pakistan. Number one, it is Andre Kohli's last test match, right, as West Indies coach, right? It potentially, it may be Craig Brathwaite's last test as captain, because we know that the coach will change, and normally when coaches come in, there are some changes, right, to be made, and potentially Craig Brathwaite may not be the next captain going forward. We don't know, I'm just speculating, right? And this is our last match in this cycle of the World Test Championship cycle 2023-2025. So there are a lot of things. So we need to be playing for some pride in this second test, right? And there are so much things going on in cricket right now, to be honest with you. As I said before in other previous videos, there are, talks about this two-tier system, right? And to be honest with you, I think if those big three started to play against, each other, I think it will become, the fans will become bored of it, because they don't want to see England, Australia playing, every 3 or 4 months, or India against Australia, or India against England every 3-4 months. That will become, they will become bored, and I don't think that system will work in the long term, right? It may work for a short period, but after that time, fans will become bored of seeing that, right? And we do not want Test cricket to die. I think, personally, Test cricket is the best form of cricket, right? And I think the game needs diversity, right? And I just think that, the resources should be, cut across the board evenly, and we should seek to develop those nations that are struggling, right? Rather than, putting them aside and just focus on the big three, for argument's sake, right? So, as I said, let's see what will happen. There are other things going on. India do not want to play in Pakistan, and we would have seen that over the years. There has been this struggle between Pakistan and India. In fact, I heard that India do not even want to put on the championship logo, right? Because it contains Pakistan on it. So it's a lot, going on in the cricket world, right? And let us not divert too much. So in terms of Pakistan, in the second test, we do not expect anything different, right? I think they will make a wrong turner as well for this test match, because that is the formula that has been working for them at home. And as I said, we would have seen it started basically against England, right, in that home test series. And so West Indies need to prepare for this turning pitch. As I said, West Indies do not have a big pool of players, and even the squad that is there, we would have seen some players would have been unavailable for the first test series. We would have seen West Indies publish a 12-man squad, right? So I'm not sure if that is the same 12 available for this game, right? Personally, I think we should be going with 7 batters and 3 spinners, right? Really, even though we would have seen Jaden Seal would have gotten some purchase out of the wicket in the first test, I think they are going to make another wrong turner, and so I probably would not want to go and see battles and he's continue on these flat pitches. Right, as I said, even though he would have extracted some bounce and movements out of the surface, our batting, we do not really have much of an issue other than the first innings of the first test where the spinners, they weren't bowling consistently. I think our main issue in this test series would have been our batting, right? Our top six, they are just not firing, right? And I know that there will be some change in relation to our batting order when Darren Sammy take over, right? So in the first test, the main change I would have seen would have been Mikhail Louis. I don't think Mikhail Louis has a clue, to spin bowling. He just looks so uncomfortable, batting to spin. Casey Carty has not been, getting any runs, right? And so those are the main two changes I would make. Also, Gameyaaad not getting any runs either, right? But we, as I said, we do not have the human resources there to make like an wholesale change. So we may have to make one or two changes, even though we may technically we need to make more changes to the team, but we do not have the human resources, so we can only make a few changes. I think Justin Greaves also should be changed, right? So obviously there are about 4 changes I think the team needs, right? But we do not have the human resources. So in terms of Mikhail Louis, we do not have another opener in Pakistan, right? And I don't know, continuing with Mikhail Louis seems to me like it's a free wicket. To be honest with you, he does not have a clue. With all due respect to him, right? But he does not have a clue as it relates to spin bowling. He looks very uncomfortable, and so I don't know. I don't even know. Probably we could use Joshua Da Silva to open the batting, and it might sound, ridiculous, but sometimes you just have to make some, you have to be unpredictable at times. There must be some unpredictability in our game. So I think if we play Mikhail Louis, I think that will be a free wicket, to be honest with you, on this pitch, right? So I would try Joshua Da Silva in the opening, or that's Joshua Da Silva for where Alec Athanaze would have played and allow Alec Athanaze to open the batting. He has some experience in white ball cricket, opening the batting, so I'm not sure if that chop and change would make sense, but we need some change and we need to win this match. In fact, we need to be competitive in this second match, right? Even if we do not win it, we must be competitive, right? And Casey Carty, as I said in the first test, I would have played either Casey Carty or Amir Jangu here. And with Casey Carty failing in both innings in the first test, that's a no-brainer for me to include Amir Jangu, right? So those are the two main, changes I would have made to the team. I probably would also, save Jaden Seals, but I don't think that the coach will do that, given the fact that he would have bowled so well in the first test. So I think those are the only 2 changes I will make to the squad. Please share your comments in the comment section. You may not agree with me, but you can share your thoughts and opinion in the comment section, right? So those are the 2 changes I would make. Or if we want to rest Jaden Seals and bring in Kemar Roach, right? And I wouldn't recommend bringing in Kemar Roach for Justin Graves, because that would, deplete our batting. We are having issues already with our batting. So bringing in Kemar Roach for, Justin Graves would, continue to deplete our batting, which we are having challenges in Moulton with. So it's a tough decision we need to make, but these changes are necessary, and as I said, in terms of us being competitive in this fixture, right? So I don't think for Pakistan they will make any change. I think Oriera will keep his position. I think so. So that's the only change might be on the cards for Pakistan. Mohamed Herrera in out, and Imam Polak in, but I do not see them making any change to their team going into the second game, because Shan Masood is a captain that doesn't like to make a lot of changes either. So I think only one possible change I'm thinking. I think they will go with their 3 spinners and that one pace bowler, Shazad. So that's how I think they will line up. The only potential change might be Imam for Herrera, but let's see. And so I just wish West Indies all the best in the second game. We need to win this game. It has so much, implications on us. As I said, there are some changes on the horizon with the new coach coming in. So we don't know how West Indies will line up, going forward. But we look forward to see what Darren Sammy will bring to this team. And I just hope that these guys will, go out there, be braver in this test. I would have seen some, aggression in the second innings, but I think that aggression wasn't tempered properly. I think we would have played some looser, even the way Brackley, would have gotten even that ball down to, I think it was mid wicket, and was caught at mid wicket, deep mid wicket. But I think the aggression, it must be, put in the right context, right? We cannot just be aggressive, erratically. We have to be smart as well with the aggression that we will show, and we just need to be consistent. Especially our spinners need to be better in this test match, right? We would have seen our Noman Ali, Sajid Khan, and Abrar Ahmed. They would have gotten all 20 wickets for Pakistan in that first test, right? And our spinners were not consistent as the Pakistani spinners, right? So we need to improve in that area. As I said, we need to be braver. Our batters need to be braver, and just go be positive. Play the ball on its merit, and then we should put away the bad deliveries. And what I do not want West Indies to get caught up in is trying to survive rather than scoring runs. We need to be, scoring runs. The scoreboard need to be ticking over, right? So I think that's all I will say for today. As I said, only 2 changes I would have made to that team. Bringing in Joshua De Silva for Mikhail Louis and Amir Django for Casey Carty. As I said, we do not have the human resources to make any wholesale change. So those are the 2 main, changes I would make to this. All right, thank you so much for joining us, and peace and blessings, everybody.